Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, as Zambia ramps up for this week's general elections, incumbent leader Edgar Lungu inaugurates a gleaming new Chinese-funded airport terminal. He'll be facing rival Hakainde Hichilema, who says Lungu's leading the country into unsustainable debt. Also, one of the 100 or so schoolgirls who was still missing after having been abducted from Chibok in northeastern Nigeria in 2014 has handed herself into the military, along with the man that she married in captivity. And the winner of Burkina Faso's first Olympic medal has his compatriots leaping for joy upon his triumphant return from the Tokyo Games. Hundreds of fans greet Hugues Fabrice Zango to keep up the celebrations over his bronze medal in the triple jump. But first, as Zambia ramps up for general elections this Thursday, incumbent leader Edgar Lungu inaugurated a huge new terminal at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on Monday. The Chinese-funded and built expansion will double the airport's capacity, allowing it to handle around 4 million passengers a year. Now, it's a centerpiece to Lungu's re-election bid, which pits him against veteran presidential hopeful Hakainde Hichilema, who's running for a sixth time. It's likely to be a close race. Our correspondents report on the tense run-up to the vote.
With just a few days to go before elections are held, the teams are forging ahead with their efforts. They are doing the rounds in town to explain why it's important to elect both a president and deputies every 5 years. This time around, however, voters seem to have lost faith in the electoral system.
No, they're saying that, I've been voting and voting, but nothing is happening. So it's more like I can't give a job to someone who is going to benefit his family only.
This election feels like déjà vu. The two main candidates are the same as they were in 2016, the outgoing President Edgar Lungu and his rival Hakainde Hichilema. But the election campaign this year is quite different. It's been done by car because gatherings were limited, officially due to the COVID-19 crisis, a campaign marked by clashes between the power and opposition, which have left 3 people dead. The ruling party spokesperson says the army will remain deployed in sensitive areas.
Incidents of violence that were sporadic across the country necessitated that the president takes greater action to forestall this violence from exploding countrywide and worsening. And therefore, he beefed up the security situation by allowing the military to join the police as a reinforcement.
Hakainde Hichilema, who is running for the 6th time, accuses the authorities of provoking the violence by preventing him from campaigning properly. His militants were dispersed with tear gas. He argues that he has been harassed and not been able to travel to all the provinces of the country. One spokesperson of his party says logistics were not easy.
He has also not been given the permission to fly, because it's easier to fly, it's easier to move from one point to another. Now he's forced to go by road.
Zambians will head to the poll on August 12th, hoping the vote will not be as tense as the campaign.
Look now at some news in brief. The Southern African Bloc, SADC, has launched a regional military mission to help Mozambique battle jihadists that have been terrorizing Cabo Delgado in its north. The Southern African Development Community mission in Mozambique was inaugurated at the province's capital of Pemba on Monday. More than 3,000 people have been killed, over 800,000 forced from their homes by the 4-year insurgency. In a welcome military success, though, a Rwandan force that deployed to Mozambique last month has helped local troops take back the strategic port of Mocimboa da Praia from extremists. Many cities across southeastern Nigeria were deserted on Monday following a call for protest from a separatist group over the detention of their leader. Nnamdi Kanu is being held by intelligence services after having been arrested in Kenya and sent back to Nigeria in June. His supporters say that his extradition was illegal and that he was tortured. Kanu heads the banned IPOB movement, which wants a separate state for ethnic Igbos. IPOB has denied accusations of orchestrating a recent spike in attacks on police stations. A Nigerian politician has been abducted from his home in Niger State. Mohammed Sani Idris is a member of state government, and it's still not clear who took him. Meanwhile, police are also trying to track down a Swiss national and his Nigerian driver who were abducted by gunmen over the weekend in Ogun State in the southwest. the country's seen a sharp rise in kidnappings and armed robberies. Now, kidnappings for ransom as a tactic is becoming more common in Nigeria's northwest, but it's long been a strategy of Boko Haram extremists behind an insurgency launched in the northeast in 2009. Perhaps the most notorious mass abduction was that of around 300 schoolgirls from Chibok in 2014. More than 100 are still missing. However, over the weekend, authorities said that one more of the lost had recently re-emerged. Brian Quinn tells us more.
Back home after a years-long ordeal, this former schoolgirl was kidnapped by Boko Haram militants in 2014. In late July, she and a man she says she married in captivity turned themselves in to the Nigerian military. Now with 2 young children, she's been reunited with her family, who are overjoyed at her return. In April 2014, the jihadis abducted Ruth along with some 270 of her fellow schoolgirls from the northeast Nigerian town of Chibok. The raid sparked outrage worldwide with a viral social media campaign under the hashtag #BringBackOurGirls, demanding their release. 82 of the girls were freed in 2017 following government negotiations with their Boko Haram captors. Dozens of others have been found or escaped, but more than 100 are believed to still be held by the terrorists. Parents of the missing see the latest return as reason to hold on to hope.
And I know that the way this girl has come out, the rest also will be followed certainly in this way.
Though the tactic of mass abductions from the country's schools was first initiated by Boko Haram, it has since been adopted by criminal gangs seeking ransom payments. Northern Nigeria has seen 10 mass school kidnappings since December, with more than 1,000 students taken.
Nearly 2 months after his return to Côte d'Ivoire, following his acquittal at the International Criminal Court for War Crimes, an ex-president Laurent Gbagbo has proposed setting up a new political party. Now, this idea comes amidst long-standing division within his FPI, which is split between his supporters and those of Pascal Affinguesson, the FBI's president. Our correspondent Hanan Ferjani tells us more.
Gbagbo did not officially mention the creation of a new political party, but he certainly implied it. The former president, who recently returned home to Ivory Coast after a 10-year absence, sealed by his acquittal by the ICC for crimes against humanity, has been keeping busy since June. During a private meeting with his supporters within the Ivorian Popular Front Party, Laurent Gbagbo took several jabs at his rival Pascal Affinguesson, who has been at the helm of a faction of the party since 2015, and in his words, has been taking the party hostage. The two political figures have, in a way, crystallized a long-standing polarization within the FPI party, which may now finally come to an end now that Gbagbo has decided to leave the party and go on with his own political formation. But what does this mean for the future of the FPI party? This is obviously the biggest question here. And it's a little early to tell, but given that Pascal Affinguesson had been at war with the pro-Gbagbo faction for years and struggling to establish his legitimacy, one can assume that Gbagbo creating his own political party is good news for him. Now, of course, when you think about the FPI party, there is another key figure that comes to mind, and that is former First Lady Simone Gbagbo, who before Laurent Gbagbo's spokesperson officially announced that he had filed for a divorce from his wife, Simone Gbagbo had been the fiercest supporter of Laurent Gbagbo for years and was at war with Pascal Affinguesson within the party, as in she was a strong key actor against him. So it's difficult to say if Gbagbo's departure could mean a change in alliances or, on the contrary, an all-out war for control between Simone Gbagbo and Pascal Affinguesson.
And Ferjani there for us. Now, the Olympics may be over, but the celebrations continue. Days after winning Burkina Faso's first Olympic medal, Hugues Fabrice Zango was greeted by hundreds of fans as he arrived in Ouagadougou over the weekend. Laurent Berstecker tells us more.
A hero's welcome for Burkina Faso's new champion. Hugues Fabrice Zango was greeted by hundreds of friends and supporters as he landed in Ouagadougou 3 days after making history by becoming the country's first Olympic medalist.
tout le peuple y a cru et tout le peuple m'a apporté son soutien. J'ai reçu aucun commentaire négatif par rapport à ce rêve-là et ce rêve est devenu réalité. Nous avons la première médaille olympique du Burkina Faso. Le compteur est ouvert et je sais que moi et les générations futures peut-être marqueront encore plus le pas dans d'autres échéances à venir.
Zango came in third in the triple jump last week, becoming the first African athlete to make the podium in that discipline. An achievement which was celebrated by all of Burkina Faso, a country which had never won a medal at the Olympics.
Cette victoire est une joie collective pour l'ensemble des 20 millions de Burkinabés qui se sont tous réunis autour de la victoire de Hugues Fabrice Zango et qui se sont tous sentis soudés par cette victoire.
A taste of success, which has Zango yearning for more. The athlete now has his eyes set on the 2024 Paris Olympics, where he will be vying for gold.
Well deserved. Well, that's it, though, for Eye on Africa. Thanks for joining us, and do so again if you can. Take care.